It's a pretty cold March morning on the hillside garden, and it's bacon smoking day. This is the smoking shed on our land. Actually, it's on the neighbour's land, but everybody uses it. It's like a communal thing because, like, how much smoking do you do in a year, you know? And this year, this is the first time I've actually smoked solo, so I'm just doing a small batch of a couple of slabs of bacon. There they are, and a couple of sets of ribs. The ribs we smoke and we use in bean soup and stuff around these parts. The bacon, the locals will, after smoking, will further dry it, so it's really quite dry. And then they'll eat it raw. They'll just slice it, and it's like a proper dry, cold, meat thing. I don't do that so much. I prefer to freeze it in this state when it's still, I don't know if you'd call it green, but while it's still quite fresh inside. In fact, you can just see where I've sliced some off there. It's not very good. I just took a little sample last night. It's got to be done. It was just an offcut there. You can see it's quite fresh inside still, and we'll freeze it, or I'll slice it first, then we'll freeze it, and then we can just take out slabs or like bits of it to fry up. We use as lardons, just to fry up with our meal, and it's super tasty. This is a cold smoking process. This isn't hot smoking. Hot smoking is a cooking process. Hot smoking is when you want flavour and you're going to eat it straight away. This is cold smoking, so when you're smoking, the temperature mustn't get very high. And that's why it's done on a cold day like this. And by the way, this has already been in here for a couple of days. This is going to be the fourth lot of smoke I'm going to do, and I think I'll call it done. I don't need it like super, super smoky. Some people do it for weeks. Some people just do it for 3 days. There's all different things. But this is a cold smoking process, and so the whole thing in here mustn't get, what mustn't happen, it won't spoil because the bacon's cured with salt, but the fat will start to render if it gets too warm in here. So, this shed, I don't know how well you can see it, it's very black. In here is where the smoke comes up, and I'll show you, I won't show you later because it'd be too smoky. The smoke comes up through holes here that are covered in stones, which are supposed to filter some of the bad stuff out. I seriously doubt that works very well, and we need to work on that. And the fire is lit here, and I'll show you in a minute how that works, but the fire is lit under here, and it's away from the actual meat, so not too much of the smoke and not too much of the heat gets inside, and it can't heat up the bacon, and you don't want that. So you light the fire in here. Once it's got going, you've got some nice big logs on there. You'll close this door, and that will smoulder away. Then there won't be a lot of fire because there's not enough oxygen getting in there. It'll just smoulder away, and there'll be plenty of smoke, and the smoke will go up through the holes and into the chamber where the meat's being smoked, and we'll leave it there for, a few hours. I mean, the locals have their ideas about how it's supposed to be done and the exact time and everything, but I don't think there's necessarily matters that much, You're just trying to give the meat a bit of flavour. I think that's maybe a misunderstanding about smoking, that smoking is part of the preservation process. I mean, I'm not an expert, but most of the preservation process is in the salting. The smoking is mostly to give it flavour, although I presume that smoking does give a bit of a skin on there as well that will kind of protect the inside from spoiling or whatever. And what we'll do once this tinder's gone up, we'll put these big logs on there. They're cherry. So the guys around here, the old timers, use fruit tree. I think they believe that somehow that will give the meat a kind of a sweet or fruity taste. I think that's nonsense, but Anyway, so this is an old sour cherry tree that we had, which died. We got quite a few of those that have died, so we've got lots of wood for smoking. And you put that on there, it smoulders away. Other parts of Serbia, they use beech, which gives a different smell, different flavour. I know in other parts of the world there's all kinds of other wood, like hickory or whatever. So, just had some breakfast. 20 minutes later, there's smoke coming out of there. And I'm going to take a little look inside. I did briefly come back. I wasn't happy with the amount of smoke inside, so I opened this up a little bit, and a little twig keeping it closed there. Well, there's plenty of smoke now, but about 20 minutes ago I thought there wasn't quite enough. I think that log hadn't quite caught properly, so what I did, I just opened this for a bit, blew the fire, got some oxygen in there, got the log going again, and then closed up again. And now I think we can have a look inside. Yep, we lock this. There are bacon thieves around, unfortunately. Can you imagine what kind of person steals a man's bacon? But it happens, unfortunately. They go around this time of year and they see the smoking sheds and they go, "Ooh, free bacon." And I'm not doing much bacon here, but there's people put a lot of money into it's like their yearly store. They're making 100 kilos of sausages, slabs and slabs of bacon. They're putting a few hundred, whatever your units are, into it, and then these people come along and just steal it. So unfortunately that's a thing. So we're locked up here, and let's just see. I don't think you're gonna be able to see this. Okay, so it's smoky and you can just see the meat, and that's about right. I'm gonna close it now. You can just about see the meat, and that's what you want. Or so I'm told. You don't want... let's see, the smoke coming out. Yeah, smoke's coming out the roof as well. You don't want huge amounts of belching smoke in there. You want the meat just to get a nice look, dusting. It's the smell you want, the taste. Not... You don't want... I think the point is you don't want sooty deposits on your bacon. The inside of that shed I didn't show you, but it's just black inside from the years of deposits. You don't want your bacon looking like that, obviously. It's not healthy for one thing. And so we just give it a light dusting of smoke, and I'm just going to leave this now for a few hours, basically till that log burns out. Then I'm going to air it out one more time, just get the wind to naturally sort of blow all the smoke away, and just kind of let the meat get a bit of an airing. And I'll take it down and I'll take it home and put it in the fridge. As I say, the locals would actually hang that in a attic space somewhere for a few weeks or even months to dry out fully. I'm not going to do that. And in any case, the warm weather's on the way, so it probably wouldn't be good hanging up there. And I'm also worried about mice, so I won't do that. But anyway, that's cold smoking bacon. That's actually my first attempt, so it's always been done for me by a local, but I think I can manage this year by myself. And looking forward to eating bacon. Well, I was going to say all year, but I didn't make very much, so I don't think it's going to last a year. But next year there'll be more.